What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Ultra 1, the first blaster in a new series, the Ultra series. This is a new series not compatible with Elite or Mega. It includes a new dart. I actually have a standalone video analyzing just this ammo. Check out that video first if you want to learn about this new ammo. This video is a review focusing specifically on the first Ultra blaster, the 1. That's what it's called. It's right here. The Ultra 1 blaster is a flywheel semi-auto blaster with a 25-round cylinder. Let's get into the review. Included is the blaster, detached cylinder, darts, and the instructions. External overview of the Ultra 1. Starting up at the front, this blaster does not have an in-strike barrel nozzle. Above that, we have a sling mount. Behind that, we have two in-strike Tacticool rails. These are compatible with all your normal in-strike attachments. The Ultra series is new and proprietary as far as the ammo goes, but just like your attachments will feed on your Mega Blaster, just like your Elite Blaster, the same attachments go onto this blaster just fine. Between the two rails is your access door. You can open that up to clear out any jams or malfunctions. I did have a few feeding issues, which I'll go over in my opinion, but none that I had to actually open this up to fix. Up in the front, you have a large foregrip for your left hand or your off hand. It's just molded plastic. There's no functional bits here. Nothing opens. There's no tack rails under here. Behind that is the drum. Now, this is a cylinder or a drum. It has a 25-round capacity, and it's loaded like most other drums, so you can just front load like this very simply. Keep in mind when you're loading to shove the dart all the way back into the back of the cylinder. This has a proprietary little notch in the back of the dart, which I cover in my dart analysis. But the function of this little notch is to stick out of the back of the cylinder so the feeding arm actually detects that dart as you're pulling the trigger. So if you don't use legitimate Nerf brand darts, this blaster is not going to function, so you have to buy the actual Ultra darts. And that's the whole sales gimmick. That's what they're going for here. You have to buy the Ultra darts to shoot them in the Ultra blaster. If you buy one and it's loaded but you're not firing, there's a good chance you're not loading the darts all the way in. There is some susceptibility to human error. So just make sure you shove it all the way in there. But that is the drum. Again, the capacity is 25 darts. Moving back under here, you have the battery tray. This blaster runs on 4 C-type batteries. You remove the 2 Phillips screw, you remove the whole tray, you can install your 4 C batteries and then reinstall. The location of the battery is like right on the center of mass, so it makes flipping the blaster around pretty easily. The balance and ergonomics, while a little bit weird because your left hand runs into the drum, it's actually pretty solid, and that's mostly because the batteries are right in the middle of the blaster. Back to the 2 triggers. The lower one is the flywheel trigger, just like normal. You hold that for a moment before you fire. The main trigger is a mechanically operated semi-auto unit. Think Strife Raven. It does not operate full auto. It's a mechanical semi-auto system. The trigger pull is pretty heavy, and there's a considerable amount of mechanical slop and mechanical just friction in the trigger pull. It doesn't feel very nice. It's okay if you're just firing a few dozen times, but if you're like me and you sit there and shoot a few hundred rounds, it gets a little exhausting. But you guys know me. I'm pretty picky about triggers and grips. To the grip, now it's actually a pretty comfortable grip for a thumbhole stock. It's not my favorite. I really don't like thumbhole stocks, and this is a pretty small thumbhole stock, so it's a little crowded, but it works. It's kind of like an SMG feeling blaster. It would be really cramped on like a long carbine, but for the size of the blaster, it works. It's not my favorite, but considering what they're shooting for here, it works fairly well. And to the stock, it's a fixed stock. It doesn't move or collapse or do anything really. It has some ammo storage on each side. It holds 4 darts on each side, so 8 total. In this mechanism, you can pull them off pretty easily to help with your reload. Obviously, only 8 darts, not a full cylinder, but it's better than nothing, and honestly, it looks cool, so style points. And in the rear, we have 2 more sling attachment points. That is the external overview of the Ultra 1 blaster. Let's see it fire. While the new Ultra darts are very different from old darts, operating the blaster is very similar to other Nerf blasters. I mean, it's a semi-auto flywheel powered blaster. Using this is very similar to an Elite blaster or even a Mega blaster, really. So operating the blaster was pretty normal, with one very large exception, and that's how you load the darts. So I want to cover this little notch and why it's significant and why some people might be using their Ultra blaster assuming it's broken when it's actually not. Nerf flew me up to New York City and I participated in the Ultra competition, which was super fun, but I saw some non-Nerfers kind of jamming up the blasters due to purely user error. And it all comes down to this this little notch, so you have to understand it to know how not to jam your blaster. It's not going to jam on its own, but if you don't use it correctly, it will. As you load the dart with the little notch into the barrel, it flips out into the rear here. So it's in the barrel. When you pull the trigger, the injection arm comes out, and it actually has to detect this foam bit, otherwise it won't protrude all the way. So it'll seize up, and it'll feel like it's a jam, but it's really not. It's just this security system not allowing you to use non-Nerf brand darts. And that's specifically how it's engineered. It's sort of like an air restrictor, kind of. An air restrictor blocks all the air until the dart comes up and undoes that air restrictor. That's sort of what they're doing here, but with the injection arm of a flywheel semi-auto trigger system, which is interesting. I think that was a really long-winded way of saying, shove the dart all the way in and it won't jam. Pretty much. I already discussed the new trajectory of the Ultra series. They are advertised to shoot up to 120 feet. That's of course at an angle. I haven't tested it outside, but I think it would get pretty close to 100 feet, so that's not too far off. However, my issue with the ammo is the trajectory. It's not precise, it's not accurate. You can't hit what you're aiming at. It doesn't matter to me if you can shoot, 100 feet instead of 60 feet. If you still can't hit anything, there's really no point in shooting that dart. But that's an issue with the dart itself, not the blaster, which I already discussed in my dart analysis video from last week. And as always, I put the blaster up on my chronograph, and I achieved an average velocity of 75 feet per second with Ultra 1 darts. And I wish I could tell you what that means, but this is the only Ultra blaster out. It is faster than the Elite average, and the Ultra darts weigh way more than the Elite darts, so there is more power coming out of the blaster, and that explains the extended range, or the effective range of up to 120 feet. So other than when I forgot to put the dart all the way into the barrel, I did not have any jams and malfunctions with this blaster through my testing procedure. And overall, it's relatively smooth to use. I think the trigger's a little heavier than it should be, especially for a luxury or premium blaster, but other than that, it works just fine. And that's about the blaster itself. I already complained about the darts. Watch that dart analysis video if you want to hear my beef with the Ultra series in general. So that's the objective information I can provide on the new Ultra 1 blaster. Now to my personal opinion. Overall, the blaster does what it's supposed to do. I did not have any jams and malfunctions. Now, if you pick one of these up and you start jamming it, make sure you load your darts all the way in. It feels a little bizarre, and I'm a Nerfer, and I messed it up when I first got this blaster because we haven't seen this system implemented in any designs. It's a unique little, like, almost an air restrictor for the firing arm. It's kind of bizarre. It adds a little bit of slop to the trigger pull. It adds more tension, and I think the trigger pull's already really heavy, so it's not really my favorite feeling blaster, but I'm really picky when it comes to flywheel blasters. So my overall opinion on the blaster itself is relatively positive. It's not a high value blaster at all. It's about $50 US. It's the MSRP, which is pretty expensive for a semi-auto flywheel powered blaster with subpar performance. So I don't think there's value, but it doesn't do anything wrong. Now, I do have beef with the darts in general. If you don't want to watch my whole dart analysis video, I'll give you a TLDR. Nerf came out with the Ultra darts and claimed they're the best performing Nerf darts on the market, which I guess is true when they're compared to Nerf Elite darts, which totally suck. You can't hit anything with Elite darts. The precision and accuracy out of the Ultra darts is better than Elite darts, but everything is better than Elite darts because Elite darts are just terrible. Waffle head darts still outperform the Ultra darts. And Rival blows Ultra completely out of the water with precision, range, capacity, reload speed, pretty much everything. So as far as my purchase recommendation goes, I personally can't recommend anybody buy this blaster or get into the Ultra series at all, really. If you want to shoot dart blasters, I would recommend Waffle head darts. I'm not going to say which brand to buy, but Waffle head darts perform better than Elite darts in every single way, so they're definitely the way to go. If that's not enough for you, buy a Rival blaster. They perform better than Elite darts, even with Waffle head darts. They perform very well, they shoot fast, they're very precise and accurate. Ultra is attempting to be a long-range series. Now, if you have access to Rival, buy Rival. It seems like Ultra is only going to be appealing to people that don't have access to Rival, like Australia, where Rival's illegal, or just not imported. But the dudes down under just mod normal dart blasters and shoot Waffle head darts, and they're performing almost as well as Rival. So I still don't see a place for Ultra at all, anywhere in the world. Ouch, that's harsh. The MSRP is high. There's no reason for this, in my opinion. I just don't see a place for it. I don't really see what they were going for. I mean, I see what they were going for, but I don't approve of what they were going for. So no, I don't recommend you purchase this one if you're looking for a similar blaster. There are plenty of Elite blasters. You can buy the Elite blaster, buy Waffle head darts, and you'll perform even better for half the cost. Or again, go to Rival, because that's super fun. Hoppers are super fast to reload and make nerfing way more fun, in my opinion. And that concludes my pretty blunt opinion. In full disclosure, Hasbro did send me this sample unit for free, but if you're interested in purchasing one, they are available now. I'll put a link in the description box below if you're interested in purchasing one. That concludes this video review. I apologize for my voice. I do have a cold, but that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.